So today we're going to be sharing some quick updates along with thoughts related to AI from our sibling organizations. And we're going to ask Mike to go first because he has to jump off onto another meeting. And Nancy is going to fill in for Sarah. We welcome back Kelly and Tom, and we hope to be welcoming Hannah Rogers here in a little bit. I haven't seen her yet, and Anoop, uh, Lami, John,
She's
Cheyenne.
here in person.
So, Mike, do you want to share something, share your screen, or just talk?
Well, I mean, I could share my screen. I do have some slides to do. Let me first thank you for, working with us. I want everyone in the room and online to know that OCTM values this group meeting and being a partner. And I just feel so bad that Heather and I were both really busy today. And I don't want people to think we don't value this because we do very much so. And all the expertise and the collaboration, we need to keep this going. So I don't want you to think that like we're not attending to this. I'm just pulled in three different places at the same time today, and I'm very sorry. Um, so I want to just try to share while I'm trying to share my screen. It looks like it's up there, doesn't it? So real quick, the with the AI thing, I think that OCTM first and foremost, um, I want to make sure that everyone in the room knows that on June 7th, Saturday, June 7th is our working group, unless that's June 6th. I'm not sure, 6th or 7th. Um, and I thank you. And I
Six.
want to make sure everybody knows that they're welcome to come to that working group. And in fact, if they wanted to like start to have a conversation about um, some AI things, we would like to be involved in all of that and a part of it. So you're all more than welcome to come do that. I don't really know how to change my screen to go through these slides and put it on a slideshow, so I'm just going to leave it like this before I make too much of a mess of things. Um, so essentially, just to update everybody, what we want to do too with I guess this is a response to AI, but it's just in response to math in and of itself, is that we want to make sure that we are really attending to our standards for mathematical practice. And this is, you know, generative AI is another reason why we need young people to be thinkers, because I need them to think how to use the AI, what to use the AI for. Just as having correct answers and having correct information isn't going to be the battle, and it hasn't been the battle. And so we're still kind of doing the same thing. So that's kind of like where we're at right now. I mean, we're just infancy thinking about all these things. Some things that OCTM is doing that we'd like you all to be aware of and be a part of. Again, we have our summer book study happening. If you were at OCTM conference last year, one of the featured speakers, Vanessa Vicaria, she is the math guru. She really talks about you know, your mathematical mindset, so to speak. That's happening this summer. I will share this with Greg, and then Greg, you can like throw it in the chat or something so everyone
Okay,
can have
great.
links and things like that. At our conference next year coming up in Kalahari, we have Joe Bowler coming and Leonard McLeod. He's an administrator. We do have an administrative track this year. It's going to be in like the middle of the day on Thursday. So that'll be really fun and something new that we're doing at the conference. If you have any questions about the conference, you can always reach out to me, Heather, Rachel Gorsuch, Melissa Scoville. All of us are available. I actually think that the the presentations, people are starting to get notified about that. Also coming up, we have our deadline coming up for our awards. So we'd like to have a full slate of awards. It's a really fun night for those of you who haven't been there in a while or maybe haven't gone. It's probably one of my favorite things. Of course, those you know me, and I get real sappy about stuff like that. So that's a really exciting evening. So if you have someone to nominate, or someone that might want to nominate somebody, someone that's been talking, fantastic about someone they're working with or something like that, you might want to send that their way. We are doing a lot of Ohio Math Plan initiatives. And our executive board has been really busy finding and building relationships with folks that can help get numbers of people in. We had a really successful webinar. We partnered with Hand to Mind, and you could see that we had almost 1,000 people registered, and in live attendance, we had like almost half the people there, which is amazing. They said that's a really high number to get that many live people. So that was fun, and I want to thank our partners ODEW also for sharing that out because I think that helped drive when it comes from ODEW, folks want to listen. So thank you to them so much for sending that out. Each month we do an e-blast. Within that e-blast, you'll see that we have a president's welcome or president's message. For the rest of my term, we are going to be talking about the effective teaching practices in that. So if you haven't seen those, you can check those out and share them. They're just unscripted, from the heart to the heart kind of things. Nothing fancy, just real authentic, real life conversation coming from not really conversation, one-sided conversation. We have an administrator and math leaders page on our website, and this is starting to come from some of the presentations that we're doing, and very active about Ohio's math plan because leadership is so important, setting the climate and the culture for the learning in the school. So we got those things going on. Todd Edwards has been doing some amazing things with the Ohio Journal. So I would ask people to check that out. He's partnering with Tuto, I believe is the young fella's name, out in California, and they are using AI to do these great interviews and create these articles about I forget what they're calling them exactly, but they're really neat. They're just conversations. So I would check those out. They just did one with Jim Maymar, who's one of our vice presidents. We're going to be partnering with Kidam in illustrative math, and we're going to be doing this. We did our last math plan webinar was all for leaders. This one's for teachers, and it's using the 8 mathematical, again, language routines. And this is, again, how to get young people to communicate and all those things. So I would definitely check that out. That's going to be June 4th, I believe.
Okay.
And then let's see, some scholarship things. We have up to 6 students receive $750. Applications are due by June 15th. That's a good bit of money. I would maybe think we can get some people to do that. And then here's some advocacy stuff. I think everyone in this group has seen a lot of the advocacy things that have been put out. And I think everyone in this room should know Kim Yoke is now officially taking over as OCTM's advocacy leader, facilitator, however we want to say that. But she's going to be leading us in that with her amazing vision. And Kim, those of you who know Kim, and I know everyone does, but she's just tireless in her resolve for what all young people and all people deserve. And who could have a better partner, to be honest? So I want to make sure everyone's aware of that. And just look at all our affiliates, and just this is awesome. I mean, how lucky are we to have such strong connections across our state, with the Science Math Coalition, the Science Math Supervisors, OMELC, OCTM, and all of our official affiliates. I mean, just ODEW. So
thank you, Mike.
We are very, very blessed to have everybody, and we appreciate you.
Okay, I know you've got to run, and I appreciate you sharing all of that. And then next in the queue, I'm guessing that Hannah and Brian are there in person. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So if you can speak next, and then on deck is Tom, and after that will be John Dutton. So Hannah Rogers and Brian Bickley. Welcome, Hannah, to the Ohio Math and Science Coalition.
Sit up front so we can see you.
I'm yielding all my time to Hannah.
Thanks, Brian.
I did the same.
You're gonna do great.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have you put things in the chat then. You're gonna be tech support. So we're just sharing what we have going on with technology and AI. We put out at the end of December an AI model policy that then districts could use as they crafted their own. That deadline is coming up in July, that all districts need to adopt an AI policy. It's very local control, so the amount of usage, the stakeholder groups that they form are going to vary across the state. So that's something that will be coming up. And then we also published, yes?
I was kind of wondering, so is somebody going to review all those policies, or are you just checking off that they got them done?
That is for local districts to have one in place.
At the state level, so somebody's going to check that they got them all?
That is not required in the law, just that they are adopted.
Oh, so they could simply say, no, 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 and then done?
They can, a part of their AI policy could be that they could be a district that states that we, don't want to have any AI usage for students, teachers, administrators. They can set that level. They just have to have it in, adopted in their policy.
Okay.
So each presenter is supposed to limit the remarks to 5 minutes so that everyone can present. So maybe you can save your questions to the end or put them in chat or put them on a board on the side that we can deal with them later. Thank you.
Or send them to Greg.
Yes, for that. The other thing I wanted to share, and Brian can put it in the chat if he's in the Zoom or in the agenda to link it. But we have a AI and education page, and in it there's district and school supports, and we have published an AI integration in the content areas. There is a informational document which kind of goes over connections, the history of the publication of the AI toolkit, of the AI and Education Coalition, which created a strategy report, which is what we've been basing a lot of our work on. And then the other big part of that, it has information about the content standards. So we looked at the technology standards as a base for the integration documents. So Brian will also put the math one in, and science, but we also have all content areas: English language arts, fine arts, world languages and cultures, physical education, and they were all based on the technology standards. And we have adopted the ISTE standards for students. So we have 7 strands, things like digital citizen, empowered learner, knowledge constructor, creative communicator. There's 7 of them. So when you look at the AI math document, you will see, first of all, it's grounded in math standards. And then within it, there are connections to those technology strands. The document has ideas. They're kind of a starting place for educators, for leaders to have around how AI can be used within the different content areas and activities that could be done with students. They are not a take and go lesson plan. They require teachers, leaders, teams to have conversations about what this will look like in the classroom, where the student is being centered, and how we're including inquiry in the activity, and how much of the work is AI doing or not doing, and how much is the student doing. So that's those documents. Again, they should be in the chat if you have any questions about them. And that's what we have right now.
Okay.
We are working on, putting together some professional learning. That's kind of our next big bucket to conquer, because we've heard a lot of need for that.
Okay, thank you very much. Really appreciate it, Hannah. And can you tell us what your particular role is at the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce? What's your title and
Yes, thank you.
department?
I am in the Office of Academic Success along with Brian. I'm an education program specialist focusing on high quality professional learning and assisting with technology.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you can become a regular attendee. John Dutton is asked to jump ahead because he has another meeting too. We've got a lot of busy folks who just hopping on for this. So if it's okay, Tom, we're going to let John jump in front of you, and then you will be next. And then it will be Nancy speaking for Sarah after that. John?
Okay, thank you so much. So hopefully you can see my share somewhere here.
Looks great.
Great. So I just wanted to be really brief about what's going on with AI and computer science. In particular, we do have standards that have been baked into the CS standards in Ohio for quite a while now, well, a few years. And those center around perception and machine learning, natural interaction, social impact. And so those are baked into a lot of the courses. So kind of in addition to what Hannah was just talking about. The most important thing that I wanted to mention, we just actually had a transition in our advocacy leadership in the Computer Science Teachers Association, so CSTA. And so I've been taking over the advocacy for now, but there are two bills, and I put those the information in the chat. For graduation requirements for computer science, a 1 credit graduation requirement was what was initially proposed, and that has since been amended to be a 1/2 credit graduation requirement. It puts AI on an even level with computer science in the courses that would be required. So CSTA is actually, CSTA Ohio, we are opposed to the amendment as currently written, and we are looking for allies to push back against this because we feel that it will actually do a lot of damage in a lot of low-income districts and schools that can't afford to have enough computer science teachers in order to be able to deliver not only what is currently being delivered, but making sure that students have a 1 semester graduation requirement. Like we haven't built out the bench with computer science instruction. And there's also the matter of who is advocating for this, and it's coming from industry. So we are pushing back against that, and we are looking for allies. So please reach out to me. I'll drop my email in the chat. We are happy to take allies when we look at testimony coming up for the House bill. The Senate bill looks like it's pretty much a done deal at this point. But that's what's going on in AI with CS. Thank you.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you. Tom Sudkamp from the Ohio Department of Higher Education. I don't know if you have slides to share or.
No, I will just chat.
Okay.
Let me start. Thanks for having me here and let me join you. Greg, I appreciate the invitation. I'll start with a couple of things that aren't AI, but more in the broad science area that I suspect some of you are aware of, but it's one of the items that we're really excited about at the Department of Higher Education. But first, let me say, when Greg asks what we're doing at the Ohio Department of Education, generally it's what our faculty are doing out at the institutions. We coordinate and collaborate sometimes, but the hard work, the innovation is off by the faculty. And you'll hear that in some of the things that I talk about. So first, on an older item that I think everyone's probably aware of, the use of co-requisite remediation in English and mathematics has been a topic present for a long time. Back starting in 2018, Ohio participated in a Strong Start to Finish program to scale statewide remediation or co-requisite remediation in those areas. It's still a hot topic nationally. In fact, just yesterday in the in the news, I will quote something. Gateway math class completion in the state of Tennessee has quadrupled since adopting co-requisite approach in Texas. Colleges that place students directly into college level math with concurrent support has increased passing rates by 36%. And so I said, we had been one of the first states to really move ahead strongly in that, but I'm using that as a lead into what we're doing now, which is the Strong Start in Science project. We have a 4-year grant. We're halfway through it with $4 million from the Ascendium Corporation for our institutions to be innovating in curriculum in chemistry, biology, anatomy, and physiology, looking at just-in-time support remediation. They're 2 years into the project. Several of the institutions are ahead. We presented results at a couple national conferences within the last 6 months, and essentially we're getting exciting results on increasing the number of students completing their major level course in those science areas. So you'll hear more about that as this year, all of the 18 participating campuses will be piloting their strategies for just-in-time remediation in those initial science courses. So to AI, and again, this goes back to most of the work being done in AI is being done out at our campuses, but there are a couple of things that ODHE has been engaged in. 2 of them delivered in the last state biennium budget. In that budget, there was a community college pilot grant AI integration bill, which provides funding for community colleges to, again, develop new AI programs or incorporate AI into existing programs at their institutions. 5 grants were awarded in the first round of that. Let me make sure I just summarize a little bit of that. I seem to have misplaced my notes here. So now you're gonna get it by memory, which is always scary. Some of those institutions, I found them piloting regional AI literacy and skill pipeline, connecting K-12 community colleges and local industry. One of the projects, embedding 4-module stackable AI in the student's initial first-year experience course, and using AI to support student mapping of stackable credentials and pathways. And then the final one, which will lead me into the last item that I want to talk about, incorporating AI into general education. That has a distinct item in the budget, and that is each public college, community college, and university is required to, now again, boringly, I'll read it to you, have their board of trustees review their general education requirements with consideration of these following areas: civics, culture, and society, 1; artificial intelligence, STEM, and computational thinking, 2; entrepreneurship and principles of innovation, 3; and workforce readiness, 4. So each of our colleges and universities will be reviewing the general education programs, looking at the content of those areas in them and making recommendations for changes, which will also float to us because across the state we have a uniform general education program called the Ohio Transfer 36 that all of our public institutions have to be using to ensure seamless transfer among them. So we'll be waiting to hear what's going on at each of the individual institutions, then seeing how the statewide general education program modifies, evolves based on those requirements coming out of the legislature. So,
Okay, thank you very much, Tom. Next up is Nancy speaking on behalf of Ohio Matic, and then it will be Anoop on the Ohio section, followed by Paul, the Ohio Technology and Engineering Educators Association.
Okay, I'm going to stick to the script that I was provided.
Thank
Hi,
you.
I'm not Sarah, but I do have some updates from Ohio-Matic. Sarah has trusted me to deliver, and I hope I can live up to her expectations, given how incredibly awesome she is. This past year, Ohio-Matic has been busy with the conversion to a 501c3 nonprofit, which now allows us to fundraise in the state of Ohio. We have updated to have our own PayPal Venmo account and now include Zelle as a fund transfer option. We've added 2 new members this year and hope to entice people back. Our conference at the end of March was well attended with just over 70 attendees. The keynote, titled Teaching Mathematics in an Age of AI, was delivered by Amanda Ducelis from Sinclair. If you're interested, please visit our website, ohiomatic.org, to see the dates of our next 3 spring conferences. The date has not yet been settled for 2028, but we are down to 2 options and hope to get that settled very soon. Thank you so much for this opportunity to share. Any thoughts, questions, please feel free to contact Sarah. Any complaints, please contact Nancy directly.
Thank you very much, Nan.
Tara. Ann is a good friend of mine.
All right. So our next presenter is Anoop Lamichane. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Welcome. I think this is your first time joining us as the new president of the Ohio section of the MAA, taking over for Tom Wakefield, who has presented to us in the past.
Thank you very much. So I didn't know, I don't know how Tom would be presenting over here. So thank you for letting everybody know that this is my first time over here. But I had the couple of classes over there in the morning, so I was kind of coming and then going. So but a couple of talks earlier was so informative. I'll just share some of the things I have right now on my mind. Let me see if I can do this. Are you seeing this screen?
Yes. Yes.
All right. So at the Ohio section of the MAA, we had a couple of committees, and then the concept is one of them. They had in the 2025, I assume they had organized the workshop on AI. So I'll just try this one. Is the one. So Liu has presented. He had facilitated this workshop, but actually he had run the workshop. I also took that one, and it was very helpful. So I would just like to say that Ohio MA has been looking into offering professional development these workshop or some of these activities related with the AI and then other things. So at the 2025 summer, as a summer start course, he had done this one earlier. This year we don't have directly related with the AI, but we are planning to have the workshop relates with the accessibility. I think this was, we were thinking of, this is now the biggest thing for specifically, having our learning materials and all of these teaching materials to have to satisfy the accessibility requirement. And which, from one perspective, maybe whatever tool we use, also maybe we can say, we can use the AI probably to improve. And then so if any of you are interested on joining the workshop, you can go here to Ohio MAA website. And where is that one? And then over here, I just click on this Summer Workshop 2026. And then if you want to register the event, you can go there. If you already have the MAA Connect account, so you don't have to create another one. Otherwise, I'm not sure if you have to create one or not, but you can go through that way and then register the event. At the National MAA Math Fest, there is also contributed paper sessions related with the innovation, evidence, and application of AI in teaching and learning mathematics. So if you're planning to join the Math Fest, this could be a good opportunity to listen from the other speakers. Hopefully, international, if not at least from the many universities over here from the US. And other than that, I don't have anything else to report. And I hope I'm under the 5 minutes.
And you did well, Anoop. Thank
All
you very
right.
much for sharing
Yeah,
this
thank you very
information
much.
with us. Okay, and then remaining, we have Paul Post, Leslie Silbernagel, and Kelly Shrewsbury. So, Paul, can you give us an update on your organization, the Ohio Technology and Engineering Educators Association?
Sure, thank you. Our organization has its fall conference coming up in October on the 21st, and we're going to have it up again at River Valley High School. As an organization, we've not really taken on AI as something to talk about. It pops up in our conference all the time because people are doing it. On the physical side, as Eli was talking about, the Internet of Things and occupational and all that kind of stuff, it's there. So our teachers are dealing with it in a variety of ways. Not so much the large language models, but now that's coming into play with like vibe coding and that kind of thing, because it's kind of a question. Do we need to teach our students how to code to run a robot, or can we let them code using some other tool? And we've been developing tools for that as we go along. Large language models came in. Interestingly, we had the National Robotics Challenge last month, and I was coordinating one of the competitions called BoxBot. And as I'm watching the students in the morning, the robots had to fit in a square, which unfortunately we didn't actually ever define. It's on a standard playing table, and so we just thought they would have that. But they were all, a bunch of them from one school were all large. And later in the day, I talked to the teacher, and it turned out he'd had Gemini summarize the rules. And somehow when Gemini summarized the rules, it came up with a size for that square that did not have a size. It was bigger than the square. So that was kind of interesting. So would you use it? Double check that the information you're getting is really what you need. And that's kind of where we're at. You know, teachers are using it in a variety of ways. I'm not sure how they're using it in their teaching part, but as part of content, it's definitely coming in.
Okay. Thank you, Paul. And next is Leslie Silbernagel, the newly elected chair-elect of the executive board of the Ohio Math and Science Coalition, speaking today representing the Science Education Council of Ohio.
This will be real brief. We just celebrated our 50th anniversary of SECO in March. So that was very exciting. Our conference was scheduled for January. We had Snowmageddon. We ended up able to reschedule for March, and it turns out that the week we had the conference and our 50th anniversary dinner was the actual week of the very first SECO meeting. So that was kind of fun, and we'll get pictures posted on the site. SECO, similar to some of the other orgs, isn't specifically doing anything with AI. It was part of one of the strands of our last conference, and I went through, we had 5 AI specific presentations. I know John had been originally scheduled to present at the January date, and then with the switch, he was not able to come. We are really trying to collaborate with CSTA because I am seeing the overlap so much between computer science and things like that. So nothing specific, but definitely trying to do integrations like where it makes sense. We do have our date for 2027. This conference will be February 1st and 2nd at it's the Ohioan now, in Lewis Center, Ohio. So we'd love to have us join. I linked to our website. The call for proposals will open early next week at Math Science Supervisors. We will definitely have it up by then. And conference registration will open shortly after. So that's it for SECO.
Okay, and last but certainly not least is Kelly Shrewsbury, formerly of the what was called TCL, the Teaching and Learning Collaborative, but now affiliated with TechCore. And I don't know that TechCore is officially yet a sibling organization, but Kelly is certainly a friend of the coalition, and we look forward to hearing what you have to say.
Yeah, I'm super excited because I feel like we are doing a lot with AI for this summer. And it's been, it's been probably the past year that we've really started thinking about things. So TechCore acquired TLC, as Greg kind of said. You did a very nice job. So everything you know about TLC kind of just navigated right over to TechCore. TechCore is also a nonprofit, so focus on providing opportunities for students furthest from experiences in technology, but really all students, K-12, as well as educators. And because I think we're still also passionate about technology really requires some good mathematics, we're thinking of it in terms of those experiences as well. We also have created a policy, so I'm happy to share that just so that you see it. And we've been thinking about like what is it we really want an AI experience to encompass, because we do have programs K-12. So this summer, I'm excited. We've got about a little over 100 camps, so week-long camps for elementary and middle school, which are our techie camps, all over Ohio, certainly here in Central Ohio, Northeast Ohio, and then other states. Those are free experiences for kiddos. And in 2 of the camps, I'd say they're light touch of AI, right? There's a lesson or 2. Often, especially at the elementary grades, they're unplugged, so their kids aren't on a device. They're a little bit different to, think about age appropriateness. But we are exploring what I think is a little bit of a different approach to AI, which is not just how it works, but it's kind of like behind the curtain, right? So how it works, how it breaks, and why it's important that humans are still involved. So we're really able to also talk about ethics and bias in some interesting ways, both from the math and science lens. So we're kind of using some fun themes. That ramps up in middle school programs. We also have 2 techie camp programs that are a little bit heavier of an AI focus. Still also unplugged, and then some experiences where they're training a model and looking at the limitations, which I think you all would love the data behind some of it, because data in, data out. So good data in, good results. Bad data in, not so much, but really having some powerful conversations around those. And I'm really excited. Battelle, the Columbus Foundation, Google, and I think Meta also have funded our student TechCore AI pre-apprenticeship experience for high school kiddos. So if you know a high school kiddo, it is a paid pre-apprenticeship, so they get paid for 5 weeks. They kind of deep dive into AI in the right ways. They also earn work-based learning hours, a pre-apprenticeship certificate, and the Ohio Means Job Seal. So it's a great opportunity. I mean, the pre-apprenticeship certificate alone is 12 points towards graduation, which is a nice perk. But also just a great experience. So we've got 3 of those running this summer as well, and I'll make sure that we drop in some flyers. I think on the other exciting note, because I know I'm sure I'm close on my time, remember when we had Math Teacher Leader Network and Science Teacher Leader Network? I'm super excited that we're bringing back just Teacher Leader Network in general with a little bit of a focus on AI. So I think it's one of the reasons, Kim, I asked, I feel like we just need some really stellar exemplars of what it really could look like in the classroom. One of my favorites from this summer is that we came across a project that Google had helped with where scientists had recorded 170,000 hours of underwater sounds. And for someone to kind of go through and take note of all of those sounds would take almost 20 years. So they used AI, it's already done, but essentially, you can kind of say, this is a whale song, this is not a whale song. This is a ship sound, this is not a ship sound. This is a storm, this is not a storm. And then AI can label all of those things and find all of those things and point to those. So I just think, finding some really neat examples of where AI is kind of getting it right, but then also talking about, well, what if you recorded sounds only at night, right? Then we're missing a data point. What if we only recorded sounds in a certain area of an ocean? And really talking about bias and ethics and what that means in kind of a different sense for younger kiddos, and as they get older, really talking about where that exists. just naturally. So super excited about all that work. Even more excited to be back. It just was hard to be back with you all. So thank you, thank you.
All right, thank you, Kelly. And I think we are pretty much on track to, I guess, keep ahead of schedule. We got a little bit ahead of schedule this morning. And so let's turn it back to Michael for brief updates and reports from committees.
Okay. Is there a way that those of us in the room could get the links and things that were dropped into the chat?
It should be part of the recording, so we could send that to you.
I can make the chat on the
Thank
That's a great idea.
Okay. Advocacy with the public. Peggy?
Janet's not here. The principal form of our advocacy has been webinars. I'm hoping that we will have a webinar in the fall about AI, but we have an awfully lot of work to do to find exactly what the focus of that will be. And I'm really interested in the work of the position paper, white paper group to help us target what we want to say to the public about AI in education. It would be a webinar.
Thank you. Advocacy with legislators. Bill?
After several months, I guess more than several, we finally were able to put together some data from the Department of Education on performance index, and looking at some of the factors that we had looked back for. If you think back, we were reported on this back in 2019 and a couple other years. Looking at 2019, 2020 versus 2024 and 25, on a very brief look at the data, there's an interesting fact that crops out, or shows out. While the MAC, if we put the data in terms of Z-scores, mathematicians, you know, that's the mean minus the, I gotta remember this now. It's the data point minus the mean divided by the standard deviation. And so ranking them, our first interest was top 100 schools, the lowest 100. What's the differences? What makes the top 100? And we talked about that at one of our coalition meetings. The bottom ones, we know there's a myriad of factors. But the interesting thing that stood out when we first pulled the data together is that the max Z score in 2019 was 2.35. Now, in the latest set of data, it's 2.30. And I'll add to that just a minute. That's not a significant difference, probably. But the min score in 2019 data was minus 3.46. It's almost 4 sigma, which was, when you look at the data, if you're going to improve where the average of the scores in Ohio would be, you'd work on your very negative ones because you can make them better. It's hard to make the best better. But I said it was minus 346. What it was within the 2024-2025 data was minus 3.17. The bottom tail has moved up significantly, which is good. You know, that's what we really want to have happen. So we're just getting involved. We met earlier this week, and after pulling together the data sets, there's all this data that ODE has, ODU has. It's on a number of spreadsheets. And so to try to get the data into one spreadsheet that you really want requires some melding of it. You can do it with VLOOKUP. And, but fortunately, as I tell the committee, I can't do that, but I have my tech specialist from all my years at GE, and she's more than happy to put them together. So that data has all gone out. The 607 public K-12 school districts is now out to the other committee members. Michael's on it, Peggy, Nancy, and Rod.
And Brad.
And Brad, yeah. So we'll have more to share as we look at the data. So I told you, we're looking at the top 100, the bottom 100. We're looking at, when you look at the bottom 100, I made this offhand statement. I think that's more populated with city school districts than it is the general population. Ron challenged me, and I've challenged him back to take a look at the overall average of how it looks in the top 100, the lowest 100, the full population, and we'll see how that turns out. So there's a number of things we're looking at. I will share one other quick thing with you, that throughout the 4 sets of data that we've looked at between 2019 and I think 3 sets and 2024 data, Solon City has remained number 1. It turns out it's a small school district, but it is always number 1. The other thing that's interesting is that when we look at the average expenditure per pupil, the number runs around $12,000, $13,000. It's in that area. But there's one school district that they spend $46,000 per student. Which is it in Ohio? 607. Anybody know?
Close to me.
Put in bed.
Arlington?
They got high transportation costs.
Yeah.
But anyway, that one look, I said, who is spending that kind of money? And I'm going to look for great results. And then I recall my visit to Put Bay, and they fly the students from one island to the other to get them there and fly them back home. So anyway, there's interesting things in the data, which I would say one other thing, and this just occurred to me. This hasn't been approved by the committee, but if any of you have ideas of things that you would like to see teased out of the data statistically, send me an email, steichen@att.net, and the committee will talk about it, and we'll see as we look through the data, what can we add that to our analyses. Any questions?
And finally, advocacy with professional organizations, Greg and Paul.
Okay, I'm going to try to share a portion of my screen here. Our basic philosophy is this, that we are better together. We've had participation from and support from all of these organizations. The PTA has helped us with our webinars. They've not actually been presenting like we had today, the presentations from the 2 state agencies, Ohio Department of Education and Workforce and Ohio Department of Higher Ed. But these are the organizations that we've worked with traditionally, and we're thinking maybe that Tech Core will replace the Teaching and Learning Collaborative here. But part of this is we need to support each other in math and science and technology, STEM education, including computer science education. I don't think we have. My bad. We should have the CSTA Ohio logo here. This I actually got from some time ago, and obviously it needs to be updated. But these are the organizations that Paul and I have tried to work with and make sure that we can maybe provide collaborations if we have common concerns. Like today, John was able to share with us some upcoming opportunities to make testimony. We need to help each other to really follow the mission of what this organization is. The coalition is advocating for high quality math and science and technology and engineering, computer science education in the state of Ohio. And now I guess, I don't know, moving forward, now that I'm no longer on the board, maybe Paul will get a new partner in crime to head up this committee.
Greg, just because you're moving off the board doesn't mean that you have all this free time.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
asked the board member to be co-chair of this committee, Greg. And
Nor do you have to be a board member to run the discussion that you just ran.
I don't think you should think you're retiring from this particular responsibility. I love you to death, and I want you there.
All right, thank you. So we're down to closing remarks and adjournment, and I told you we'd be early. I thank you all for coming, particularly our esteemed guests. That was very educational, our presentation. I really appreciate it, personally. And we will be back together in a date to be named in October. We'll get that out to you fairly soon. And I appreciate everyone's time. Is there anything else for the good of the cause?
Yes, I think there's a link in the program to give feedback, and maybe we can put that link in the chat. Let me see if I think I put that away, but isn't there a link near the bottom of the program if you look?
There is.
And for the people who are there locally, it's forms.gle/47VSN. Maybe you can put it on the
Are
chart.
you getting all that, guys? You know what? When Michael sends out, I'll put it in the chat, but when Michael sends out the email about the task force, he can include that in there.
Yes.
I think that one went to Greg, by the way.
Yeah, you just sent it to Greg.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Greg sent it to everybody. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. See,
course
right
he
here.
You know, I could say one thing,
Sure.
Michael.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead, Marianne.
My oldest grandson just finished his the second year at Ohio State in mechanical engineering. And in terms of AI, he will tell you that at least as far as the student's concerned, it's not helpful because it might be able to give the answer, but it doesn't give you any understanding of what's happening. And so from his point of view, in class is much better. Just one student's point of view.
It's good to hear. Thank you.
Can you adjourn us without a gavel?
Oh, I made a mess. We're adjourned. Thank you all for being here.
So that the link to the evaluation form, can that be emailed to us?
Yes.
I don't have a click. I mean, there's only I think one or two links in the agenda.
Towards the bottom?
Yeah.
It's at the bottom.
Oh, okay, I can get to that. Okay.
And feel free to take granola bars, bananas, clementines, donuts,
Ice.
water with you.
Thank you. Peggy, maybe I don't have the updated version.
Good
Sorry
seeing
for the
you.
rest of you online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to see
Michael?
I have, there's one that says Sunday.
Michael, Nan, anybody? I think, did you capture the attendance? Nancy, did you capture the attendance?